y he contraído una gran responsabilidad con España ante las Cortes Generales, que espero corresponder con la mayor dignidad y el mejor ejemplo.
Princess Leonor is often identified as Spain's Queen Elizabeth II. She is the heir to the Spanish royal family, so if her father, King Felipe VI, dies, she will become queen like the British have done before. Her life hasn't always been easy. Reporters are always watching everything Leonor does. Even though she is in the center, this young princess still has a lot of secrets that no one knows. In today's video, we'll reveal everything we found about these secrets and tell you what the media has been hiding about Princess Leonor of Spain. Royal titles and how they are passed down are often the result of complicated past choices and differences. As an example, Her Royal Highness, HRH, Princess, was given to Prince William's children from birth, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. This may seem like a natural custom since their father was going to be King of England, but it's actually something that started just over 100 years ago. King George V started giving the HRH title to the children of the current king and the children of the monarch's sons in 1917. Before this, there weren't any clear rules about royal names, and different monarchies had different ways of doing things. The letters patent from King George V made this system official. They made sure that the titles of prince and princess were given to both the king or queen's straight children and their grandchildren through the male line. This change made royal titles more consistent and solidified a hierarchy within the British royal family. Other European kingdoms are different from this one. In Spain, for example, the crown prince or princess is the only person who can call themselves a prince or princess. Other children and grandchildren of the Spanish monarch are called infante or infanta, based on their gender. This tradition comes from a different time in history. Let's look at the case of Princess Leonor of Spain to show this. Leonor was born in 2005. She was the daughter of Crown Prince Felipe at the time, so she was given the title Infanta Leonor when she was born. This was because her dad was still King Juan Carlos's likely heir, not the current king. When Felipe took the throne in 2014, Leonor's title changed to Princess Leonor, which meant she was now the heir apparent. Infanta Sofia, Leonor's younger sister, kept her title of Infanta even after their father became king. The way things work in Spain shows that royal titles are closely linked to a person's place in the line of succession and can change when the government does. The British system, which was started by King George V, on the other hand, makes sure that all children of the current monarch's sons and straight descendants of the monarch are given the HRH title from birth. This uniformity makes the royal order easier to understand and sets up a clear path for the British royal family to follow. These differences show how different habits and times in history have shaped royal customs across Europe. As a result of its own history and the needs of its royal family, each kingdom has come up with its own rules for handling titles and hierarchy. From the moment she was born, Princess Leonor of Spain has been an important part of the Spanish royal family. Both the media and the people are very interested in her life. People in Spain and around the world met her for the first time when she was a baby, wrapped in blankets outside of the Ruber International Clinic in Madrid. This public appearance showed that the Spanish monarchy would last, and it was also the start of Leonor's time in the royal glare. People have thought of Leonor as the coming Queen of Spain since she was very young. This has caused a lot of interest in her. When it comes to succession, the Spanish monarchy uses a method called male preference primogeniture, which means that male heirs usually come before female ones. At the time of her birth, however, her father, Crown Prince Felipe, was the clear heir, so Leonor was seen right away as the likely future queen, provided her father did not have a male heir. In the same way that Queen Elizabeth II was seen as Britain's future queen, Leonor is now seen as Spain's future queen, even though rules that favored men at first favored her younger brother. Leonor has spent most of her time in the public eye. She has been to many royal events and other public events. As is customary for the Spanish royal family, holy water from the River Jordan was used for her baptism in 2006, which was a big event. This ceremony was both a religious rite and a sign of her place in the royal family and her ties to Spain's rich religious and historical customs. People were still very interested in Princess Leonor's looks as she got more mature. People have taken pictures of her at sailing competitions, social events with other European royals, and her summer home in Mallorca, the Palacio de Marivon. People think about her job and personality as Spain's future queen based on these events. When she came, it was the start of a new era for the kingdom. She brought hope for the future and a glimpse of Spain's next king or queen. The excitement around her birth showed how much people wanted her to be the next queen. However, even though Leonor is the heir apparent, there is still a small chance that she might not know what her future holds. In Spain's past, the male preference primogeniture system meant that male children came before female ones. This system still exists in theory. King Felipe VI has changed a lot, but if he had another legitimate son, Leonor would lose her place in the line of succession. This shows how delicate royal situations are even now. Infanta Sofia, her younger sister, was born in 2007. This brought some stability by making it clear that Sofia would not question Leonor's position as heir apparent. Even so, there is still a chance for change, even if it seems impossible. Leonor will become queen in the future, but her place is tied to her father's family tree. This is similar to how unstable royal succession has been throughout history. In the past, similar doubts have affected the leaders of Spain's royal family, which is similar to what is happening now. When King Juan Carlos and Queen Sofia had their girls, Infanta Elena in 1963 and Infanta Cristina in 1965, it was clear that they would one day be heirs to the throne. Because Elena was the oldest daughter, she was thought to be selected right away. But when her younger brother Felipe was born in 1968, things changed dramatically for her. When Felipe came along as a legal male heir, he changed the line of succession, making Elena less important as the heir apparent. In Spain, the prince, who is next in line to the throne, is the only person who can be called prince or princess. In the British government, for example, more than one member of the royal family can hold princely titles. When Infanta Leonor was born in 2005, her father Felipe was still crown prince. Because of this, she was called an infanta, which is a title for a monarch's children or grandkids who are not direct heirs. For Leonor, her title didn't change until Felipe became king on June 19, 2014. Then she was named heir to the throne and given the title of Princess of Asturias, which is like the British title of Prince or Princess of Wales and means she is next in line to the throne. But the titles of Princess of Asturias and Prince of Wales are not the same in significant ways. In the United Kingdom, the title of Prince of Wales is not given immediately to the heir apparent. Instead, it is given at the monarch's discretion. In comparison, Article 57.2 of the Spanish Constitution says that the title of Princess of Asturias is automatically given to the child who will become king or queen when their parent ascends the throne. So when Felipe became King Felipe VI, Leonor's new title as Princess of Asturias was automatically given to her without any other ceremony. Leonor is called more than just Princess of Asturias. She is also known as Princess of Girona and Princess of Viana, names that honor the ancient countries that helped make modern-day Spain what it is today. Princess of Girona refers to the Kingdom of Aragon in the Middle Ages, while Princess of Viana refers to the Kingdom of Navarre. These names celebrate the history and traditions of the places that helped shape the Spanish monarchy in the 1600s. In royal history, when a ruler steps down, it can have big effects on the line of succession and on the roles of family members. One important case happened in 1936, when Princess Elizabeth of York, who would later become Queen Elizabeth II, was only 10 years old. King Edward VIII, her uncle, gave up the British throne in December 1936, leaving the post open since he had no direct heirs. Because of this change, his younger brother, Prince Albert of York, became King George VI and took over the throne. The rise of King George VI completely changed the lives of his daughters, Elizabeth and Margaret. As the presumed heir, Elizabeth was given a lot of responsibility, while her lively younger sister, Princess Margaret, was put in a more supporting role. Some people think that this made the sisters feel envious or competitive toward each other. Their public lives were shaped by the difference between Elizabeth's heavy responsibilities as the future queen and Margaret's less demanding role as her closest companion. In 2014, Spain went through a similar change to the ones Elizabeth went through decades earlier. King Juan Carlos I gave up the throne so that his son, Felipe VI, could take it. Leonor was only 8 years old at the time. This made Leonor a new person. the daughter of the current king or queen, the crown princess, and the likely heir. Elizabeth's journey as she took on a role of prominence and duty at a young age was a lot like this one. Like Elizabeth, Leonor is known to be quieter and more introverted than her younger sister, Infanta Sophia, who is known to be more outgoing. This dynamic is like the way Elizabeth and Margaret felt about each other. Although there is no public proof that Sophia is jealous of Leonor, there are a lot of similarities between their situations and those of Elizabeth and Margaret. In a royal family, the idea of succession often depends on whether there are male children or not. The birth of Elizabeth's younger brother might have changed her position as the presumed heir, but in the end, things did not turn out that way. The birth of a younger brother could also change Leonor's status as the presumed heir, though this is still just a theory at this point. Like the British monarchy in the past, the current Spanish monarchy is based on a complicated balance of who takes over and what parts different family members play. Both royal families have to deal with the challenges of family history and the expectations that people have of them because they represent the hopes and dreams of their countries. Princess Leonor of Spain celebrated an important event in her Catholic life in May 2015, her first communion. In the Roman Catholic Church, this event, which marks a child's reception of the sacrament, is always a big deal in the Spanish royal family. In the past, these kinds of events have been marked by big parties at the royal palace of Zarzuela that drew a lot of attention. On the other hand, Leonor's first communion was much less grand than other royal events. The parish of Santa Maria de los Angeles in Aravaca, a neighborhood of Madrid, gave her her first communion when she was only 9 years old. The royal family has changed how they handle public events as this choice of place was less fancy than their usual ones. Leonor's ceremony wasn't held in a fancy palace. Instead, it was in a neighborhood church where her family and about 20 of her classmates who were also getting their first communions were present. Leonor wore similarly simple clothes to the event. Instead of wearing a dress that was made just for the event, she wore her regular blue and gray school uniform from her private school in Madrid. This decision showed a more equal viewpoint, putting more weight on normalcy and relatability than on grandeur. The fact that her peers were there, probably also wearing school uniforms, made it seem like more of a community event than a royal show. The event was made even more important by the attendance of King Felipe VI, Queen Letizia, King Juan Carlos, and Queen Sofia. The media paid attention to them being there, but the ceremony itself was described as quiet and familiar, which was different from the flashier parties that are usually connected with the Spanish royal family. This softer approach fit with King Felipe's larger plans to modernize the throne and make it easier for the Spanish people to understand and relate to. The Order of the Golden Fleece is one of Spain's highest awards. It was given to Princess Leonor on her 10th birthday in October 2015. This prestigious award was created in 1430 by Philip the Good of Burgundy to protect the Roman Catholic faith, uphold the customs of chivalry, and settle disagreements among its knights. Over its long history, the Order of the Golden Fleece has become one of Spain's highest honors. Since it was created, only about 200 people have been given this award. Because it has only been given a few times over the ages, the order is known for being very exclusive and having historical importance. Before 2015, only a few women, including Queen Elizabeth II, had been given the Order of the Golden Fleece. King Juan Carlos bestowed the honor on her. The fact that Princess Leonor was included in this exclusive group showed how important she is in the Spanish royal family and how much respect and hope there is for her future role. Even though the award was revealed on her 10th birthday, Princess Leonor didn't actually get the icon of the order until January 30, 2018. It was a very important time because it was also King Felipe's 50th birthday and close to Leonor's 13th birthday, which is when Felipe first went public as crown prince. The fact that these important dates fell at the same time made Leonor's entrance into the order even more of a ceremony and marked her move into a more public role as the future heir apparent. King Felipe VI talked about how important the event was by saying, "Today, Leonor, you are taking a very important and symbolic step toward your future role." This statement explained the bigger picture of the event and officially recognized Leonor's place in the royal family and the duties she would soon be taking on. On October 31st, 2018, Princess Leonor's public life took a big step forward. That day was her 13th birthday and the 40th anniversary of Spain's Constitution, or Carta Magna. Two celebrations at the same time were very important for her as she became the likely heir to the Spanish throne. The Constitution of 1978 was an important text in Spain's history because it ended Francisco Franco's dictatorship and brought back democratic government. The Constitution, which was approved soon after Franco's death and King Juan Carlos's ascension to the throne, is what made Spain a modern democracy. The 40th anniversary of this important event made it a perfect setting for Princess Leonor's first big public appearance. On this important day, she gave her first speech in public at a celebration at the Cervantes Institute in Madrid. Her public debut happened at a very important time in Spain's history, making it both a personal and a national honor. The event was set in a formal tone by her father, King Felipe VI, reading the text of the Constitution to the crowd. Leonor stood up to read from the Carta Magna herself after he finished his opening. The princess spoke with a strong voice, which showed how poised and sure of herself she was as she took on additional public duties. This was not only a big moment for her personally, but it was also a symbolic start for her as crown princess, taking over the tasks her father had been in charge of. On her birthday, Leonor gave her first public speech. This wasn't just a formality, it was a planned move to bring her into Spain's public life. King Felipe VI also made his first public speech when he was 13. This event was similar to that. This comparison brought out the continuity between generations in the Spanish monarchy, which comes from the royal family's practice of training future kings and queens from a young age. Princess Leonor gave her first speech in public and also took on a big duty when she hosted the Princess of Asturias Awards for the first time on October 18, 2019. This award, which is named after her, is one of the most important in Spain. It recognizes accomplishments in many areas, such as the arts, sciences, and humanities. During the year she turned 13, Princess Leonor made a number of official public appearances, which showed how involved she was becoming in her future royal tasks. On June 19, 2019, she helped her father, King Felipe VI, at the Order of Civil Merit function, which was a big deal. This marriage was important for both its historical background and what it meant for Leonor's future role in the Spanish monarchy. When King Alfonso XIII formed the Order of Civil Merit on June 25, 1926, it was meant to honor and reward outstanding public servants who had made a positive impact on the country. Over time, the order has grown to recognize people who have done great things outside of public service. It now includes both Spanish citizens who have made huge contributions through good deeds or unwavering dedication to their jobs and non-Spanish citizens who have made important contributions to Spain. As the Grand Master of the Order of Civil Merit at the moment, King Felipe VI is in charge of giving these awards, which are given in his name. Princess Leonor's attendance at this ceremony was especially significant because it showed that she was slowly getting ready for a future role in which she might finally take on responsibilities similar to those her father had. When Leonor helped present awards, she was not only fulfilling a very important royal task, but she was also learning useful skills that would help her when she became Grand Master herself. The 2019 ceremony was Princess Leonor's first time at an Order of Civil Merit event. In 2021, she was again there. The main goal of this event was to honor the hard work of people who were on the front lines during the COVID-19 pandemic. A wide range of people were recognized with awards, including healthcare workers, makers, food producers, and transport and distribution drivers. These were all people who were very important in keeping services running during a global health crisis. Princess Leonor made a big point in her royal career when she did her first event as Spain's crown princess by herself on March 24, 2021. This event was a big step toward getting ready for her future duties, and it showed how she was becoming more independent within the Spanish kingdom. During this engagement, Princess Leonor went to a safe place to put two important things in a safe deposit box. The first thing was a copy of the Spanish Constitution that she had read out loud at her 2018 13th birthday party. The second was a copy of Don Quixote, which she had read at another event in 2020. These things showed how Leonor was connected to important events in her public life and how she helped protect important symbols of Spanish culture and government. For this event, Leonor decided to wear a dress she had worn before, along with kitten heels and a mask. Her choice to wear an old outfit again added a personal touch and showed how down-to-earth she is, even though she is a princess. The people liked this choice, which made her seem like a more approachable and relatable future queen. With a banner that said "The future is Leonor," the people showed their support for Princess Leonor and their excitement about her future as queen. This warm welcome shows that Leonor is becoming more and more seen as an important member of Spain's royal family. And it also shows how important this event is in her royal growth. Princess Leonor went to another important event by herself 4 months after her engagement. It was her first public appearance with her sister, Infanta Sofia, without their parents being there. On this occasion, the sisters did something important to honor World Environment Day. They planted trees in a Madrid nature preserve. This event showed how much they cared about protecting the earth and brought attention to environmental problems. Even though King Felipe VI has tried to fix the royal family's image by disclosing his assets to the public and financially separating himself from his father, the issues that hurt the monarchy's reputation still happen. King Juan Carlos chose to live in exile in the United Arab Emirates since August 2020 as a way to keep the royal family away from the problems that surrounded his rule. But the bad effects of these issues haven't gone away completely. They are still affecting the monarchy. As the likely heir, Princess Leonor can't help but be affected by this ongoing unhappiness. People's lack of faith in the royal family and ongoing hostility toward the royal family have made things difficult for her as she takes on more public duties. Leonor gave a speech at the Princess of Girona Foundation Awards in Barcelona in 2019 that was a great example of this. Although the event was important and she spoke with poise, there were anti-royal protests going on in the background, which showed how unpopular and tense things were with the Queen. The way King Felipe VI handles his daughter's education shows that he is trying to find a good mix between protecting the royal family's reputation and making sure Princess Leonor gets a great education. Felipe has not been afraid to spend money on his daughter's best schooling, even though he wants to distance the Spanish monarchy from the wealth that characterized the last few years of his father's reign. Princess Leonor started her schooling at a nursery school connected to the Spanish Royal Guard. This shows that she was exposed to a royal institution at a young age. After this, she went to the same elite private grammar school in Madrid as her father, which shows that her family has always valued a good education. In 2021, Leonor made a big move when she started going to UWC Atlantic College, an exclusive foreign boarding school in a historic castle from the 1100s on the south coast of Wales. This was a big change from where she had been going to school before. It is famous for its International Baccalaureate (IB) program, which encourages students to see things with a global view and helps them develop a broad and accepting view of the world. Sending Leonor to this elite school shows that the royal family is serious about giving her a well-rounded education with an eye toward the world. The school has an image as an exclusive place where royals go to school, which shows how famous it is and how exclusive its students are. Reports say that Leonor applied to the school without giving her name, and they accepted her, even though they knew she was the heir to the Spanish throne. This method promotes a dedication to education based on merit and a need for privacy. Leonor is going to UWC Atlantic College, which has very high costs. The 2-year foreign baccalaureate program costs close to $93,000 a year in tuition, while the Spanish royal family gets about $10 million a year from the government to help with their official duties and to keep their home in order. King Felipe and Queen Letizia have decided to pay for Leonor's college with their own money. This choice shows that they are willing to put money into their daughter's education while also taking into account how people might see them. When it was announced in 2021 that Princess Leonor would finish her primary education at UWC Atlantic College in Wales, it got a lot of attention from the media. At first, the Spanish radio station RTVE said that Leonor was leaving Spain like her grandpa did, making a connection between her decision to study abroad and King Juan Carlos I's decision to live alone in Abu Dhabi. This comparison was criticized right away and later taken back. The station apologized for the hurtful tone of the title. The first story might have been wrong because it made it sound like Leonor's choice of school was similar to Juan Carlos's exile, which was caused by scandals and his desire to stay away from Spain and the royal family. Leonor, on the other hand, moved to Wales on purpose so she could get the best foreign education possible, not to get away from the public eye or her royal duties. There were a number of financial and political scandals that hurt King Juan Carlos's image and forced him to leave Spain. He stepped down as part of a larger plan to protect his son, King Felipe VI, from the problems and keep the monarchy's good name. Leonor, on the other hand, is constantly involved in royal tasks and busy with engagements when she is back in Spain, while this self-imposed distance from Spain is very different. As the heir to the Spanish throne, Princess Leonor stays connected to her job by taking part in royal events while she is at home. When Leonor had her second royal engagement by herself, it was on April 20th, 2022, while she was on Easter break. She took part in a roundtable talk about cybersecurity and social media at a cybersecurity conference held at a high school in Spain. This debate, which was led by an expert, showed how interested she was in current events and how she was getting ready for future duties. On April 23, 2022, just a few days later, Princess Leonor went to see Ukrainian refugees with her parents, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, and her younger sister, Infanta Sofia. On the Saturday before Easter, the royal family paid this visit as a way to show support and solidarity with people in Ukraine who are still suffering from the ongoing war. The royal family's visit showed they cared about global problems and their role in helping communities around the world. The way Princess Leonor has changed over time in the Spanish royal family shows how customs can change to fit the needs of new generations. As the probable heir to the Spanish throne, she has been through important events and tasks that show she is ready for her future royal duties. Leonor has shown unwavering dedication to her part by giving her first public speech on her 13th birthday, going to events by herself, and continuing her military training at the General Academy in Zaragoza. Princess Leonor not only lives up to her royal duties, but she also shows kindness, education, and modernity by navigating the complicated worlds of public opinion and royal legacy.